Welcome to Plug and Play Blues lesson number 4. In this lesson we're going to learn some cool chord moves to really punch up this Texas blues shuffle that we've been working on. I think you're going to get a lot out of it, so let's get started. Let's take a look at a chord move that we can do over our E groove in this shuffle Texas style example. For a quick recap, this is what the groove sounds like. We learned that back in lesson 1, but what we're going to do now is really punch up the second half of that. You know, that's really bass heavy, definitely groove heavy, which is cool, but we want to get some different ideas going, some contrast on the guitar, and we'll do that by introducing this little chord move in the higher register. And it works really cool when you put them back to back. Alright, so let's take a look at what we're doing in the chord move. I'm barring across the top 3 strings on the 2nd fret. It doesn't really matter what finger you do. You'll see me go from the index finger, maybe even my ring finger. But just make sure you get a good bar on these top 3 strings at the 2nd fret. You're going to pick those together, then hit the open 6th string, then back to the top 3 strings. Then we're going to finish that idea off with a hammer-on to the 1st fret of the 3rd string from the open while you pluck all 3 of those strings. Really a sweet move. Then we're going to hit the bass string again, then back to our bar, then back to the E major with that hammer-on to the 1st fret. So really quick and slight hammer-on. So that's the chord move, and let's play it together with our groove, and I'll do it rather slowly for you. And you want to choke down on the strings after that last hammer-on so that they're not ringing like crazy as you get back into the groove. And you can really loop these ideas together for a 4-bar part that'll sound like this in E. And then you'll move on to the A groove. For the A groove, we're going to do a very similar sound to this chord move. It really is just going to be an identical chord move to the E chord. We're just going to move everything up into the key of A. It's going to sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing there is we're starting out with the basic groove. And then once we get to the 2nd bar of that groove, we're going to do the same idea, but now our bar on the top 3 strings is going to move from the 2nd all the way up to the 7th fret. And our bass is not the 6th string, but the 5th string. And to get that hammer-on done, what we need to do is bar across the 5th fret on the top 3 strings and hammer on to the 6th. Really a cool sound. So let's take a listen to these 2 parts, the groove and the chord move, put back to back. And again, you want to choke down on that last hammer-on just after you do it, just so the strings aren't ringing out like crazy as you move into a different chord. So far in this course, when we've gotten to bars 9 and 10 of the progression, we've held constant and played this boogie-woogie idea over the B and the A. It sounds like this. But now that we've got these chordal elements going on, like the E and the A, it makes a lot of sense to play through some chords in bars 9 and 10. And those chords are going to be the B7 for the B part, and then the H7 for the A part. And really we're just going to strum through the B7, get into the A7, and then I've got a cool micro lick to get us into the turnaround. So let's take a closer look at those two bars, including that micro lick. Alright, so what I'm doing there under the B7 is I'm hitting the bass, which is this B note here on the 5th string, then the top 3 strings, I'm hitting them twice, then back to the bass, and then the top 3. Then we hit the top 3 again, and then hit them open. Just for that, nice little ghost note, you hit them open, you hit them kind of lightly there, just to move you into the A7. And continue that strumming pattern over the A7 until you get to the micro lick part, which is going to sound like this. And that is, I'm pushing up on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, a nice little blues bend, to the open 1st string, and then I'm going to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, pulling off to the open, and then the open 1st string. It's a nice little compact micro lick. And here's what that sounds like in the context of the A7 strumming. All right, let's put these two bars together. All right, now that we've gone through the chord moves on the E part, the A part, the B7, and the A7, let's put them all together back in our 12-bar progression and hear what this thing sounds like. That wraps up lesson 4 in the Plug and Play Blues series. Now stick around for lesson number 5, where we take the concept of micro licks, the turnarounds, and these chord moves and bring them all together into a cohesive blues tune. This is where it gets really cool. So I hope to see you in lesson number 5.